Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into a hidden through line in American history, a kind of training ground that has produced leaders in the White House, the boardroom, and on the front lines of social change. So, let's kick things off with a bit of a puzzle. What do you think a five-star general who became president, the founder of a global logistics empire, and a pivotal figure in the civil rights movement could possibly have in common? I'm talking about Dwight Eisenhower, FedEx's Frederick Smith, and the heroic Medgar Evers.
Well, the answer is military service. It's this experience, this crucible, that has forged leaders who have left their mark on, every corner of American society. All right, so let's start with the most visible path, right? From the battlefield straight to the Oval Office. It's a journey that's been so common throughout history that it really makes you ask, what is it about military command that prepares someone to be commander-in-chief?
Get this, a whopping 31 U.S. presidents have been military veterans. And this isn't some new trend. This tradition stretches all the way back to the nation's founding with George Washington, who was, of course, the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army.
What's really fascinating is how this military experience directly shaped their presidencies. Take Dwight D. Eisenhower. His experience planning the massive, incredibly complex D-Day invasion gave him the vision for another huge logistical undertaking, creating the U.S. interstate highway system. He just got how strategically important it was to be able to move people and materials across a vast nation.
And this legacy of service absolutely continued into the modern era with figures like John McCain. His resilience as a naval aviator was tested to the absolute extreme when he was shot down over Vietnam.
As a prisoner of war, he went through brutal torture, but refused an early release, upholding that code of honor. His service, recognized with awards like the Silver Star and 2 Purple Hearts, it just speaks volumes about his profound commitment. We're talking about a character that was forged under absolutely unimaginable pressure.
Okay, so let's switch gears. How do these same principles of leadership translate from the battlefield to a totally different arena, the world of business? Well, the connection is way deeper than you might think.
The military is an unparalleled training ground for the skills you need to run a major corporation. We're talking about the psychology of making these high-stakes decisions with incomplete information, leading a team toward a mission-critical goal, and just keeping your cool when everything is on the line.
Skills in strategic planning, making tough calls under pressure, and mastering complex logistics. These translate almost perfectly from a military command structure to the C-suite. It's about executing a plan with precision, whether you're coordinating troops or a global supply chain.
Veterans have led some of the world's biggest companies. Frederick Smith of FedEx, who served 2 tours with the Marines in Vietnam, literally applied his knowledge of military logistics to create the overnight delivery industry. James Takelett of Lockheed Martin was a former Air Force pilot. It's pretty clear their experiences really shaped their leadership styles. But leadership isn't just about the presidency or the boardroom. For some, military service became the fuel for fighting for justice and societal change, precisely because it exposed the huge gap between America's ideals and its reality. Just consider Medgar Evers, the pioneering NAACP field secretary in Mississippi. This powerful quote to his brother, it really captures the exact moment his military experience transformed into a call to action. See, he served in a segregated army unit during World War II, and he even participated in the Normandy landings. So imagine witnessing the hypocrisy of fighting for freedom abroad, seeing black soldiers treated with equality by the French, only to be denied it back home. That experience ignited his lifelong battle for civil rights.
And the history of military service is also filled with these surprising trailblazers. People you might never expect to see on this list, whose service became a platform for breaking barriers.
The celebrated abolitionist Harriet Tubman was also a brilliant military strategist for the Union Army. She served as a spy and even became the first woman in U.S. history to lead a military expedition, a raid that freed hundreds of slaves with tactical genius.
And this just shows how service can shape your character in unexpected ways. Long before she was a Golden Girl, Bea Arthur was a Marine, and her enlistment interview described her as over-aggressive and officious. Those are the exact traits that would later define her iconic, cantankerous characters.
So what's the common thread here? What ties all of these stories together, from presidents to CEOs to civil rights icons?
The values forged in military service, duty, leadership under pressure, and sacrifice, they're woven deeply into the very fabric of American leadership. We see it in the highest political offices, in the most innovative companies, and in the most transformative social movements.
And this leaves us with a final, important question. As the definition of service continues to evolve in our society, who's going to be the next generation to answer the call and carry this powerful legacy of service-driven leadership into the future?